Everybody in the college football world deeply misses Mike Leach, especially the Mississippi State football program. Just a very unfortunate, sad turn of events for his family, for their football program, with the unexpected coaching change and passing of an absolute legend. Mike Leach, as you know, is probably most people's second favorite head coach in college football. Never knew what to expect from him in interviews, never knew what to expect from him when he took the podium. Just the epitome of whatever the opposite of coach speak was. You never knew what you were going to get, and it was usually something very unusual and intriguing. Mike Leach was a character. He's gravely missed, but Mississippi State football is in the process of moving on from that, and it has been a rocky rebuild with Zach Arnett and the new-look Mississippi State offense. Mike Leach was one of the last air raid purists in college football. They've changed to more of a multiple look, and things haven't gone as smoothly as they might have hoped or dreamed. And it's very unfortunate because 2023 was a year that was apparently circled by a lot of Mississippi State fans and insiders as a year for Mississippi State to really break through because of returning production and Will Rogers coming back for what feels like his 10th season as the starter in the perfect system for whatever kind of quarterback he is, which was that air raid. But things have changed. Will Rogers is actually hurt right now, questionable to play versus A&M. He is on the near end of his comeback range, which was 4 to 6 weeks with his current injury. This is the 4th week, and he could play, he could not. We really don't know at this point in time. They have 3 possible quarterbacks they could trot out, all bringing different things to the table. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about this matchup. We'll talk about A&M, what's on the line, what needs to happen for A&M. And at the end of this video, I'll give you my score prediction. But first, if you guys could like and subscribe, that would help me greatly. We're getting very close to 1,000 subscribers. You guys have been absolutely amazing, supporting, liking, and especially commenting. We have great discussions in the comment section. I always say I feel like I learn more from the comment section on these videos than I do from articles about this team. Giving so much insight, I get a feel for the fan base through you guys, and I just really appreciate you all. So like and subscribe. Let's get into it. So as I mentioned, Zach Arnett, new head coach at Mississippi State, promoted defensive coordinator to head coach, and out with the air raid Mike Leach system. In with Kevin Barbay, someone that A&M fans are unfortunately very familiar with. He was the offensive coordinator at Appalachian State last year. Yes, the App State that beat Texas A&M. I hate that this video is making me utter that matchup. He brings a totally different offense, more of a multiple look, more willing to bring in tight ends, fullbacks, and of course, the Mississippi State structure before him didn't really have the personnel to enact that kind of offense. So it's very much a transition year. He's wanting to bring more players towards the line of scrimmage, more power runs, more multiple. Honestly, a lot more similar to what A&M does than what Mississippi State did last year. You're going to see a lot of different looks. You're going to see him spread it out at times. You're going to see him go into power looks at times. But the personnel doesn't really match the offense yet because it's a new system. That's part of a transition with college coaches. So big changes to the Mississippi State offense and what you're going to see. And of course, as I said, Will Rogers in his, I believe, 5th year at Mississippi State, 4th or 5th year at Mississippi State, he didn't really hit the year running. Mississippi State actually ran a lot more than one would expect in the early games of this season. You would expect them to maybe pass more, kind of ease into the new system. But no, they were a very run-heavy team early in the year. As the season went on, they opened things up a little bit more, gave Will Rogers more of an opportunity to pass the ball. And of course, in recent games, been without him, he's hurt. Out with Will Rogers, in with Mike Wright, the transfer out of Vanderbilt, definitely a run-first quarterback. They're going to go sideline to sideline with him. They're going to bring in a lot of jet sweeps, RPOs. They're going to get him running. They're going to have him rolling out, moving left to right, and throwing on the run, or just tucking it in and run. But his level of play, he's definitely an inexperienced quarterback. He's definitely not playing at the higher end of the spectrum of quarterback play right now. He's just not. His deep balls seem to be very inaccurate. A lot of those are kind of jump balls up for grabs by both teams. A&M can definitely have their way with him if he's out of rhythm. Their offensive line has not played particularly well this year. I know it's very negative the way I'm going to talk about their offense right now. It's just that it's been that kind of transition year for them. What I'm kind of fearful of is the potential of their third-string quarterback, the young and inexperienced Chris Parsons. He is a gunslinger. He's young. He played his first college action last week versus Kentucky, and I thought he looked really freaking good. Of course, he was limited as to how good he could look by that offensive line, and I've noticed a lot of drops from receivers on some pretty clutch throws by Parson last week, and I've seen drops in recent games from their receivers throughout the year. But Parsons can sling the ball. He reminds me a little bit of Connor Wigman in the way he has a lot of different throwing angles, the way he can make lemonade out of a broken pocket. He's the kind of guy that can kind of bring a lot of intangibles to a team. And if we see him on Saturday, he's the guy I kind of fear. But this would be his first away game start or game action in his college career. So that is something that A&M definitely has going for them. Their leading rusher, Jaquavius Marks, is also questionable this weekend. He's missed the last 2 games. He's leading in yards per carry relative to the amount of carries he gets by a wide margin, and he's been sorely missed. Their running game has not been up to snuff lately. Their offense is in a really bad place right now, and A&M's defense has been pretty dang good. Now, the one thing that scares me is if they target A&M's depleted cornerback position. A&M is down to some really young players at cornerback with Tyreek Chappelle out, Sam McCall looking iffy. He left the game versus Ole Miss with an injury. You're looking at the young Javian Thomas and Josh DeBerry, who we know at this point is just not an outside corner. He's truly a nickel. He's stronger at nickel than corner by a significant wide margin. So if they're going to try to target on the outside, I think that might be their best chance with some jump ball opportunities, getting those receivers the ball with space outside. That's something that A&M's going to need to look out for, and I believe that's something that Mississippi State's going to target based on the film that they've seen from A&M this year. But I do think A&M's front seven can have a lot of success versus their struggling offensive line, versus young quarterbacks, especially if Will Rogers is unable to go. I look for A&M to live in their backfield. So it's a struggle for their offense. It's a major opportunity for A&M's defense to get right after a very tough ending to the Ole Miss game. Defensively, a lot better than where they are offensively. They have a couple of really good linebackers that can get after it in Jet Johnson, which is just an amazing name for a linebacker. And then Nathaniel Watson, who is a pass rush specialist. He has 8 sacks on the year. He lives in the backfield. He's a really quick edge rusher at linebacker. And he's the kind of guy that can make A&M's struggling offensive line pay. But fortunately for Texas A&M, their offensive line is coming off of their best game of the season versus Ole Miss. They were able to find consistency on the road at Ole Miss, and it wasn't at the hands of changing players, changing the lineup, benching players. They finally just put together a good game. So I look for this A&M offense to pick up where they left off on the road at Ole Miss. Of course, the big elephant in the room for Texas A&M is Max Johnson healthy. Max Johnson has had an up and down year. He's had some really good moments. He's had some really bad moments. The offensive line has not helped him out in a great way. It's been a struggle. He's had trouble navigating the immense pressure that he's been receiving in the pocket, and he's missed a lot of reads downfield. He's kind of gotten tunnel vision at times. But versus Ole Miss, we saw him with maybe the worst interception of the year in the end zone after a great 6-minute drive to start the second half. We saw him rebound from that and put together some productive play. So we really hope Max plays, because behind him, you're looking at a very inexperienced transfer out of Fresno State in Henderson. We don't know what to expect from him. We really don't know. So we really hope Max is able to go. But I think if this offensive line can build off of what we saw versus Ole Miss, A&M will have a great chance to move the ball and put up some points. I look at this game as a massive opportunity for A&M to have a cathartic experience. I think A&M can win this game big. I think there's going to be a lot of passion in this game from A&M. They hear what everyone's saying. They hear that they're underperforming. They know what's on the line. They know they've lost some disappointing games. They're coming home for a night game at Kyle Field. I am honestly expecting fireworks from A&M's offense and the whole team. I think A&M can win this game big. So I'm going to give you my score prediction. It's going to be pretty bold, but I truly believe it. I think A&M wins this game 42-10. I think A&M absolutely hammers Mississippi State, who is unfortunately struggling this year. Unfortunate because of why they're struggling, and that's just losing your head coach, having your senior leader at quarterback go down. I just think this game is such a massive opportunity for A&M to build on what was a pretty good performance on the road versus Ole Miss. And I think if they're able to do that, they're able to stay healthy, they're able to go attack Abilene Christian the next week, I think they set themselves up for a great chance to win with a LSU team that's kind of under the radar struggling this year. They're kind of having a disappointing year. The losses are racking up. Their defense has disappointed this year. I think if A&M goes out there and continues to build, they can really finish this year strong. Of course, I've made a separate video about A&M's internal and program struggles. I'm operating in this video on the mentality that A&M needs to finish this year strong. This team needs to finish this year strong, and it's all on the table for a strong finish to 2023. It's been a disappointing year for the Ags too, and I just think this is a massive opportunity to go out there and get right. So guys, what do you think about this matchup? What do you think about my score prediction? Am I being too optimistic? I just really see this game as a chance for A&M to take out some rage, go out there, play a clean game, get out of there healthy, get a big win. So with that, I'll see you guys Wednesday night, 8 p.m. I don't know when you're catching this video. If it's Wednesday, try to jump in 8 p.m. at night. We have a call-in show. We have a lot of fun. Aggies come on and vent, talk about how they feel about the state of the program, which is unfortunately not so great right now. But it's a lot of fun. We have a great time. I'll see you guys there, and then after the game on Saturday, I'll be at the game, so my post-game video will be coming at you pretty late at night. But I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and gig 'em.